And welcome to another episode of the Nashville Scoop. I'm Chris McKenna.
I'm Ashley.
And this week, we're going to talk about the Nashville Predators and kind of the fan experience and things like that. There's one specific thing that we're going to kind of focus on, but it does seem a little bit weird to be talking about hockey since it's the end of February and it's going to be 80 degrees here today.
Oh,
but
it's going to be so nice. And up north, it's snowing too. I had people from work like, oh, I'm not going to get there in time. It's snowing. I'm like, 80.
Nice. Yep. Well, 80 here. So,
Yep.
But yeah, so that's what we're going to do. I know that we were talking about doing this maybe, I don't know, maybe in a couple of months, maybe at the end of summer. And we were going to talk about a different aspect about hockey as well, because I know that a lot of people from, northern cities move down here and everything, kind of like what we did. And, the kids play hockey and stuff. So, we'll kind of do like a youth hockey review, I think, in a couple of months too. Because, we've been around and like we've seen a couple different programs and things like that. But I think today we're going to talk about the Predators because it's a great time and it's definitely something that people need to go and see. But again, more specifically, we're going to talk about a little bit more of the fan and family experience. So we have been taking the kids. Kids are huge hockey fans. Like they live for hockey. They watch hockey on TV. They don't even care. Obviously Bruins are their number one team.
Right.
The Preds are number two for them. But it's a good thing. Eastern, Western Conference, they kind of like have an Eastern favorite and a Western favorite.
Exactly.
So that's good. It kind of works out. Except for when the Bruins come to town and we have to go to one of those games, then it gets a little bit different. Or you're, not rooting for the home team anymore. But so the number one thing, I guess, is overall, like as far as Predators games go, they're amazing games. Like the whole experience is a great time.
Yes.
Right? So
I agree. Yeah.
Family experience is great. Like overall fan experience, like even if you don't have kids, if you do have kids, it doesn't really matter. It's a very easy place to navigate, number one.
I feel like they cater to anybody, really. I mean, I love it because it is so family oriented and they do cater to kids a lot. Even just when you walk in, they have like a little fan club for the kids, a little kid zone, and they have a cool little area where they can shoot pucks and things like that. And I mean, I know we walked in once. It was one of the games we were going to because we have season tickets. We have a 10-pack, right?
Yeah.
Where we have 10, different games throughout the year, which is great.
Yep.
Just as a tester for the year. We had walked in and there was a guy and he was just like, oh, he saw us with the boys. He's like, hey, where are your tickets? And we were like, oh, we're in the balcony. He's like, you want to get closer? Yeah. He's like, you want to get closer? We're like, yeah, we want to get closer. So they gave us amazing tickets.
Yep. They just upgraded us for no reason.
They did. We were like probably 10 rows behind the benches. It was fantastic. Yeah.
Right behind the Predators bench.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we've been to many Bruins games, you and I, and we've taken the kids, and nothing has ever happened like that up there, No,
of course not.
Yeah.
The Bruins, I mean, you start comparing like different arenas, the Bruins it is a miserable experience for kids. Like the whole aspect of going to a game in Boston with kids is like, you dread it.
Right. Yeah.
Between the parking and just getting into the place and getting into the arena itself is miserable. And then it's just like, as an adult, fine, whatever, like I always had a good time going to Bruins games and stuff, but I hated bringing the kids there.
Right.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
Like from everything from the very beginning. Like we thought that we were like found like a magic like parking lot like 2 blocks away from the arena, where the first time we went, we're like, why is nobody parked here? Are we allowed to park in here? It's empty. The game starts in like 30 minutes. And it's not. It's been like that every single time we've gone. It's
That's
2 blocks away.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
And the price, I think we end up paying like $15 for an entire game to park in that lot, maybe.
Parking,
So parking is so easy, especially with kids too. I mean,
it's a surface lot. You're not in a garage, so it's not like you have to wait forever. I mean, I remember when you used to park under the garden.
Hour
it was
and a
like
half
you
if
would
you wait till the end of the game.
until the end of the game.
Yeah.
You would sit.
We do this all the time, where we go to games and we with the kids, even like on weeknights, we can keep them to the end of the game and then still make it to our car. From the final buzzer to getting home, we're talking like maybe 40 minutes.
Right.
like walking in our door, maybe 40 minutes. So, so that part is great. Parking is great. And then the other thing too is a very small arena. I think it's like maybe the third smallest or something like that, second smallest. It's somewhere like at the very bottom of being the smallest, but it's fine. It still gets super loud in there. You never would have known that it's a small arena. Fans are so good in there.
Yeah,
like,
they are really good.
It's so much fun. Like, and the other cool thing that I always liked too about the Preds was, in between periods, they have a band that plays inside the arena and does live music in between periods during intermission. So everything that they do there is great for fans and everything. The food is good. All of the food, like the burgers are fine. You know, I mean, you're not talking gourmet or anything, but it's, you know, they're all good things and good options.
Right.
So,
and they have a lot of those kiosks where you can order yourself, or they have places where you just go up and you talk to
they
a
have
human
them both.
and you order.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
they
it
have
really
the
depends on what
self
you want.
orders. They have the regular lines. I mean, the one thing that I will say is drink lines get very long there, and the bathroom lines get very long, very, very long.
Which I feel is sort of par for the course, especially for dudes. I feel like for girls you can walk right in, but naturally I think there's obviously a lot more dudes at the game than there are girls.
Yeah,
so,
and totally used to that. So, so that's not a big detractor or anything like that. It just, that is what it is. But yeah, I mean, overall, I think the whole fan experience is great. So I guess we could kind of get into the main reason, like why we're doing this, right? So like Ash had said earlier, we have a 10-game pack, and we had heard through some friends at hockey that that there's this thing called the blue liner of the game, which we knew about, but they told us that they signed their son up to be the blue liner of the game, and we're like, well, that's kind of cool. How do you do that? So for anybody that doesn't know what the blue liner is they pick a youth hockey player from the area, and they get to, during pre-games right before the anthem, they get to skate out onto the ice. They get dressed in their full youth hockey uniform. They get to skate out on the ice after Nash, who's the mascot. And they go out to center ice. They're waving a flag. They're doing all this stuff. And then they go out, and when the teams come out on the blue line for the anthem, they get to go out there with them and listen to the anthem. So really cool. So they told us that they got to do that. So what we did was I reached out to our ticket rep, Jackson, who's been awesome the whole time, like responds right away, emails, text messages, things like that. They make it super easy. So he's been great the whole time. Just reached out and I was like, hey, these are the games that we have remaining. Is it possible to get the kids a blue liner? And they immediately got back, and they both got to be blue liners. Yeah. So one, Evan, did the Buffalo Sabres game.
He's our little guy.
Yep.
He's 6.
And then Aiden, so I gave them the options, and we had the Bruins were on the list, and they're like, yeah, the Bruins game is open. So I was like, boom.
Yes.
So we got Aiden in for the Bruins game. So overall, we'll just like kind of go through like what they do, right? And we won't talk about like the individual experiences and stuff like that. I mentioned like one cool thing about Aiden's, but so overall, what they do with the blue liner is really, really cool. You show up early. There's like a separate entrance that you go in, and people can enter through there anyway. It's not like some secret entrance or anything, but this is where you go in, is on the back side of the building instead of going in with the herd of people at the beginning of the game. They bring you into the locker room where all the people that do all the ice work and stuff during the games, where they all get ready. So you go in there, and the blue liner will get dressed, get in their full gear. Then they go out, and you get to watch warm-ups. So it's really cool. They bring you out to the ice, and you are right where the Zamboni comes onto the ice, and you just stand there and you watch warm-ups for the visiting side, because that's what side you're on. Right. And you just watch the warm-ups the whole time. So that's really cool. And then they start explaining everything to you about like what's going to happen. And we got a little nervous with Ev because
it was our first time.
It was our first time.
And he was 6. So little. We're like, we were just like, you're going to be great, buddy. Like, just be careful when you first step on the ice. Because, of course, when the Zamboni comes off, they fix it, obviously, but there's plenty of water there. Right. We're like, just don't fall.
kid's a natural. He's fine.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's cool. You sit there and you wait, and before you go out there, the main guy in the arena that does like all the announcing and stuff, the in arena stuff for the fans during the game, not on TV. He comes up and he does an interview up on the jumbotron with the little guy and has him say
who his favorite player is,
and then tells him to get the whole place going and say Smashville, make some noise,
right?
And they loved it.
Yeah.
They did so good.
Smashville, make some noise for my buddy Evan McKenna. Evan, do you have a favorite Predators player? Who is it?
Cody Glass.
Oh, I'm a Glass guy too. Let's go. Listen, I need your help. It's going to be crazy in this building tonight. Let's get them going early. Just give me a Smashville, make some noise.
Nashville, make some noise.
There it is. Thanks for representing. Evan, one time fist bump, baby. Let's go. All right. Give it up for Evan McKenna. Who is it? I love you, Yossi, man. I do gotta ask you this. This place is gonna be wild tonight. The energy's gonna be crazy. You get to start it early. Just say Nashville, make some noise.
Both of them did. And then after that, the Zambonis come out, they wash the ice, and the guys will come back out, and then it's time. So Nash comes flying out, runs down the runway. He goes, so his thing before every game, he comes running down the runway and then jumps onto the ice on his knees, slides all the way across the ice. Like that's their opening before every game. And then right after that, they give the flag to whoever the blue liner is. You get to skate right out to center ice. They're playing the music. You're out there waving the flag for, it seems like forever.
It does seem like forever.
But,
yeah. And he's so little because the flag
yeah.
was like twice his size.
It was funny. But he goes flying out there, hard stop right on the center dot. It was really funny. So he's waving the flag, and then once the music stops, they pull him off. He goes into the penalty box while the teams do their really quick warm-up. So they always do a really quick skate right before the anthems. And then they all go out to the blue line, and this happened for both of them. So it's not the individual that we were talking about, but like both of them did this. Is when everybody was on the blue line, they both skate out to the blue line, and then Saros, the goalie, comes over, gives him a fist bump, and we thought that was it. But even Duchene, who wasn't right next to him, comes skating over, went out of his way to come over, give the kid a fist bump, and then he did that for both of them too. So really cool. And then they sing the anthem. The kids are on the blue line with them while the anthem is done, and then they skate off. They get undressed.
Who gave you fist bumps?
Saros.
Did Duchene come over too and give you a fist bump?
What?
Duchene?
Yep.
You did too, right?
Did you have fun?
Yeah.
And then the other thing, like really good fan experience, what they do with the tickets.
Oh, they upgraded our tickets, which was awesome because we are normally, like I said, up in the balcony. We have 4 tickets and it gets pricey, so we did balcony. They gave us amazing tickets right behind the net. We're about maybe 15 rows back, the very last row at the very end. So they're amazing. They're perfect
aisle
tickets.
seats.
Yep.
Aisle seats right behind the visitors, and where the visitors shoot twice,
Yes.
which was cool for us.
It was great for the Bruins, of course. Yeah.
That was our home team.
Yeah.
And they gave us a little bit of crap because we show up, we're Preds season ticket holders now, and we show up, we have the blue liner for the Preds, and all 4 of us show up in all of our Boston gear for the Bruins, like the guy Wayne D, who does the announcing in house, and he's like, what's going on here? I was like, one game, one
give
game
us
a year.
one game.
This is the one
Just
game.
give us one game.
But he was really cool. Talks to everybody beforehand and stuff, and everybody there is so nice.
They are very
everybody.
nice.
Like you said, like they upgraded us one game. Like a guy just standing there. Everybody like during this whole production was good. The ticket reps are good. Right. Like everybody is so nice. So.
And it was really cool, too, for Aiden. We got a really cool experience when we were watching the warm-ups for the Bruins. The kids had made a sign to say that they were born in Boston and moved to Nashville, but Bruins are their number one. So, of course, we're right behind, so the players could see it. So Marchand was awesome. he obviously read the sign, and he tried about 6 to 7 times to get the kids a puck. It just kept getting caught in the netting. So
Yeah,
there was about 4 pucks at one point sitting in
Yeah.
the net. The ice crew from Nashville obviously helped us out and got us the pucks, which was great. But I'll tell you, that was awesome that he did that. He tried
It was
for
unreal.
so long
Like
to
he
get
probably
them a puck.
spent a total of like 3 minutes of his warm up time
Yes.
just trying to get Evan a puck.
Yes.
Which was unreal. So
was
really
great.
cool, dude. That was really nice to see.
That was awesome. And like I said, we each got one because there were so many of them. So then we were able to give a couple to other fans because there was
Right.
tons of Bruins fans. I mean,
Yeah.
I would say half of that arena was Bruins.
Oh.
I mean, you heard
I mean-
Bruins chants and you heard them louder than Nashville. It was like, oh.
The Bruins travel well to begin with.
They do,
So
yes.
so that's good.
Yes.
But I mean, and that's so this is the cool thing that I think about just people in Nashville, period,
Mm-hmm.
and the fans at the Predators arena is like it is a very visitor friendly arena. So, I mean, obviously Nashville being such a tourist attraction, and everybody comes here, like I felt that all the games that we go to, there's always a very good amount of visitors
Yes.
that come there and dressed in their visitors gear and
course.
everything. But the difference between here and other places that I've been to and other sports and even hockey is everybody gets along. Like you kind of give it to the visitors
Yeah, you
a
heckle
little
them
bit.
a little bit and just give them a hard time out of good fun.
But everybody
But
has a good time.
they do,
Like
yes.
I've never seen anything where like I don't want to bring the kids to a game on a Friday night against anybody because people get too rowdy and
Right.
things like that. Like honestly, like any time that we've ever brought the kids, I've never worried about bringing them.
No, I haven't either.
So everybody gets along and stuff like that, and it's great. So, but yeah, you always see fans from other teams there.
yeah.
This was a little bit different.
This
like
was
this
different.
was at least half of the
I would
arena,
say half,
at
yeah.
least. We may have. It was tough to tell
Because it's yellow.
because they're
Right.
both yellow.
Yes.
Right. So you have
Yeah.
the black and yellow, and then you have the blue, yellow, white. You know,
Right.
so it was tough to tell, but you could tell from the arena and the
Right.
chants
And
and
the
everything.
chants and when they scored
it
and
also
everything.
helped that the Bruins were winning. They won what 5-0. I think it was.
It was more than that.
6-0.
Yeah, 5-0. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was a
I did
shutout.
5.
I just remember when we were coming back up from doing the blue liner, so we were a little bit late to get to our seats because you have to get undressed and they already start the game. We had gotten food really quick and the Bruins had scored, and I literally thought the Preds scored. I'm like, that is so loud in there, and I was
Yeah.
like, that was the Bruins. I was
Right.
like, oh wow, okay.
Yeah, I thought the same
so we're
thing.
in good
'cause
company.
yeah, exactly. We weren't watching the game yet. You
Right.
could just hear the crowd reacting. It
Yes.
was like, Bruins are down.
Yeah.
And you look up and it's
And
like,
I was like, oh.
nope. Nope, they scored.
I have to say though, I was so conflicted. Like I love the Bees. I am hardcore Bees all the way. They're number one
Right.
for me. But I'm really starting to love the Preds and getting
Yeah.
to know the Preds. So it was like so weird for me to
Right, it was-
not
it was
cheer and cheer against Saros and stuff because I love cheering for those guys. But again, Bees are number one. I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly.
it was okay, but it just felt odd. I just
Right.
felt slightly
Well, then the next game
conflicted.
you go right back and you're right back to being a
Exactly.
Preds fan.
Yep.
So, yeah, no, the whole thing. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Right.
I felt the same way. You like almost want to cheer. I mean, luckily there wasn't a whole lot to cheer about
There
as
wasn't.
a Preds fan.
No, the Bees absolutely
So
destroyed them.
it was
They
good.
did.
Yeah. It was pretty dominating that game.
It
But
was.
no, it was the whole experience was a good time. Like I said, the blue liner experience is great. And I don't even know that you have to be a season ticket holder. I don't know. You probably don't.
I wouldn't
but,
think that you have to either.
you just need to reach out to somebody, and they're usually very easy to get a hold
Mm-hmm.
of. So I don't know if you're in the area and you guys like the Preds, you're a hockey player and stuff, and you're thinking about maybe giving it a try. It's probably filled up for this year, but something to try maybe next year. Just reach out to the team, and just ask about it. I'm sure that they would, as long as you have tickets. I'm sure that they would, hook you up with
Oh,
it.
I'm sure
So,
they would. And like I said, they're just so accommodating, and it's just such a cool experience for them. I mean, our boys are 6 and 8. I
Yep.
can't imagine doing that at that age. I would have froze. I would have never done it, but they handled it like champs.
Oh, yeah, they did great.
They did awesome.
It was funny telling them how many people are in the arena. They're like, "What?"
Right.
How
Because
many
you can't
people
see.
were
It's so dark
watching?"
in there,
Yeah.
right? When they're both going out on the ice and everything. But
Right. Yeah. So that was good. And again, like overall, and I was even telling somebody this the other day, like somebody that grew up here too. They're just not hockey fans, which that happens, and they haven't been to games. But they were telling me, they're like, yeah, I've always heard, Predators are a really good time, and I should definitely go and check them out, and but I've never been. And I'm like, you've never been to a Predators game? Like, whether you like hockey or not, if you're looking for something different to do, and like you just want something, a change, right? But something fun, absolutely go to a Predators game, because there's so many other things to do there.
Yes.
You know, you get like that entertainment in between periods and all that stuff. And hockey in general is very fast paced, and it's a good time.
And they have like multiple, the stores, tons of stores where you can buy gear and stuff. And they have tons of different almost restaurants / bars in there too. So, I mean, especially on the first floor, they have a lot of different places where you can go. They have TVs in there. You can watch the game in there. So if you're not into hanging in the arena the whole time and you want a little change of pace, hop out and go into one of the bars.
Right. That's what I was going to say too, is like overall location. Anybody and if you're from here, you know exactly where it is. That's easy. It's right on Broadway. It's in the middle of, not in the middle, I guess it's at the end, but you're in the middle of all of it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like right across the street is Tootsie's.
Right.
So it's like you're right on Broadway and 5th, super popular area. So anybody that's not from here, and that you're thinking about coming down here, it's in the middle of all of the action on Broadway. So if you're coming down and you're going to come and visit Broadway and you're thinking about doing a game, absolutely go and do it, because people go out beforehand, they just jump into the arena. You can leave early if you want. I mean, all the bars and restaurants, everything is right there. So you're right in the middle of all of it. It's the whole experience is great.
It
so,
is. It's great.
Again, great parking, great people inside, great team, like as far as like the reps and everything like that, everything about it. I have nothing bad to say about any time that we've ever been to a Predators game.
No, it's great. It definitely had, and we've been to many minor league, I feel, hockey games when we used to go to the Providence Bruins back in, Boston. We go to Rhode Island and do those. Yep. Those are extremely family friendly. And I got to say, I feel like the Preds do an amazing job too for being an NHL team. It is
That's always
super
the thing.
Family friendly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. That's always the thing with like the minor league sports, is that they tend to cater a little bit more towards families, and they're just more fan friendly in general, the minor leagues, because I don't know, they have nothing else to focus on.
Right.
That's how the minor leagues make their money, is off, from the fans and the concessions and the activities there. They have to cater to the fans. They need them to come back.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, going with that, like, it's very minor league feeling with the attention that they give.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's not it doesn't feel like a minor league
atmosphere.
atmosphere.
Not at all. No.
But like the attention that you get from them, you would think that it was minor league. Right. You know what I mean? Like they go above and beyond for everybody, is basically what I'm trying to say.
Yep.
So, anything else that you can think of as far as that goes?
I don't think so. I'm just looking forward to next year. I'm curious to see what we're going to do with our tickets. If we're going to keep, a 10-game pack is great. I'd love to move down a little bit, because it definitely helps the kids be a little more engaged. For sure. Naturally being in the balcony, you're a little further out. You tend to watch the Jumbotron, not so much the game itself.
Yeah, and the good thing is that the tickets aren't really, they're not as expensive as some other places, I feel. They're very reasonably priced. So, and as packed as it gets, I feel like you can find tickets no matter what, and they're still reasonably priced. So, And
another thing too, I was thinking, I feel like every time we go, they're always giving you something on your seat. Like, there's been so many times we've gone, we get a towel to wave, we get a bracelet that lights up during the game. Like, I feel like they do a lot
of giveaways.
Yeah, back in Boston,
they just gave away towels the other night, like custom made towels that look like
like a jersey. Yeah. Like back in Boston, I feel like it was only at the playoffs you'd get your usual rally towel, and that was it. But like here, I feel like every time we go, I'm like, oh, check your chair, we got something. You get something at your seat. So
the Bruins owners don't care about the fans, and they've proved that over and over again. So it's a totally different experience.
It is.
So
it is different.
No, honestly, if you're from here, haven't checked it out, I find it hard to believe, but there are some of you out there. Definitely go and do it. It's a great time. And if you're thinking of coming here and you like hockey at all, even if you just want to go and check it out, the prices on the tickets are reasonable enough where you could even go for a period or two and then leave, jump back on Broadway, and be totally cool with it. But definitely go and take a look. It's a great time. It really is. So, anything else?
No, I think that's it.
All right. That'll wrap it up. So, thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next week.
Have a good week.
Listen on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere you get your podcasts. Watch all of our episodes on YouTube at The Nashville Scoop. Follow the podcast on Instagram at Nashville Scoop Podcast or TikTok at The Nashville Scoop Podcast. If you have any interest in real estate in Nashville, follow me on YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok at The Nashville Realtor.